Next up, I'd like to ask Vanessa Mcpherson from Arcadis and Art Simonian from Mattabasset to give a Newea update.
Hopefully everyone can see me over this giant podium. So really quick, I think everyone in the room probably knows, but the Connecticut Water Environment Association is a member association of the New England Water Environment Association. That's a lot, Newea. Newea just had its annual conference up in Boston. That was at the end of January. Every year, CTWEA actually sponsors operators to attend that conference, so please take advantage of that next year if you didn't get a chance to go. We talked about Graydon getting an award. Jeff LeMay also got an award. He received the Pelican Award, so we're very excited for Jeff. Yvonne Hall was up there. She participated in the regulator roundtable, so we really appreciate you doing that. Deb Mahoney is the Newea president for 2025. She'll be at our May meeting, but she wanted us to relay that her vision for 2025 is charting new waters. So Deb and the senior management team will be looking at Newea's next strategic plan. So they're looking for feedback. If anyone has that, please send it along. We're getting ready for Water Week, which is the fly-in to DC. That's happening in April. That's really about advocacy and awareness for key issues in our field. So Jeff will be going down. Jeff LeMay will be there for that. There is a WEF scholarship for YP participation. So look out for that if you're interested. And the Newea Spring Meeting is in May in Portland, Maine. And that's the qualifying event for Ops Challenge. So hope to see you all there. I'll turn it over to Art.
Great, thanks, Vanessa. And yeah, just a couple things as a follow-up to as well. The conference this year was very, very well attended. I'm Art Simonian, by the way, from Mattabasset, in case you don't know me. I just got elected to be our treasurer for Newea for the next 3 years, so we get some more Connecticut representation too up at Newea, but the conference was very well attended, a lot of good discussions, a lot of good things happening, and Vanessa mentioned about the vision statement. That's going to be like a 5-year vision statement that Deb Mahoney is working on. She kind of did the same thing with NEBRA, the Northeast Biosolids. So you're going to start, this isn't just, even though her assignment really is president is 1 year, they're actually involved in a number of years. So I'm not looking at my phone other than stealing some notes here, so just bear with me for a second. But yeah, it's something that I think Newea needs, especially we've had some financial challenges in the last few years, especially after or during COVID. We saw some really suffering numbers in terms of we had to have a virtual annual conference that year, but things are coming back. I think there was about 2,200 to 2,300 people attended this year up at Newea in Boston, so that's, I think, up about 200 or 300 people from the year before, so that's really good. I just came back from the Utility Management Conference in Dallas, and that was more of a national conference, obviously, but they were talking about some of the challenges with federal funding. So they think that federal funding will be in place for 2025. In terms of 2026, certain things may be on the list for reconsideration, so kind of just keep that in mind. They did have a slide that talked about various different types of funds, but hopefully, this sector, our water sector, wastewater sector will be in place. I think there's enough demand for that. And Vanessa mentioned about the fly-in. That's so important to try to attend that if you haven't attended before, or obviously we can't bring everybody, but I attended, I think, for 2 or 3 years, and the common message 2 or 3 years ago was I, infiltration, inflow. I think pretty much everyone around the country, because you get representatives from all different states meeting with their local legislation for their particular states. I think the message got through, and I think you saw a lot of infrastructure money and bipartisan money that came out as a result of those that fly-in. So it does, I think, make a difference if we hammer home the same message. So at the annual conference in Dallas, the utility management conference, they talked about cross-training and shortages in the workforce, which I think everyone is experiencing. But they also talked about how it's a national problem, not just in our industry, but really across the board too. So we're not the only industry facing that challenge. And some of the numbers that they talked about, which I thought were pretty astonishing, is that 80% of the water utilities out there are serve less than 10,000 customers, and there's only about 4,000 large utilities. The other 140,000 are considered medium to small. So most of the utilities out there are small, and most have less than 5 people, 5 employees. So you talk about workforce development and training, cross-training. I think it's going to be very challenging for the smaller utilities. It's probably going to result in maybe higher budgets and having overlapping staffing in the future. So just kind of keep that in mind. The other thing that they talked a little bit about, and I think everyone knows, especially in Connecticut, that disposal of biosolids, fortunately Connecticut has 5 incinerators that are operating that handle the majority, I think, of our biosolids, but other states are facing a real challenge with getting rid of their biosolids. I think everyone knows that's going on. There's some talk about gasification as far as maybe a technology that destroys PFAS, more to be said on that. And I think Maine is actually considering a bill to consider incinerators as a higher level of alternative treatment as opposed to land farming and other means of disposal. So even the state of Maine, who is really, I think, on the forefront being against incineration, obviously against biosolids for land applying, is looking at other technologies. So keep in mind, there's probably going to be changes in the technology and probably, unfortunately increases in costs for disposal. So with that, we mentioned about the Portland Spring Conference that's coming up May 11th to the 14th. If you haven't registered, I think registration's open now. I think the hotel is actually available, so please try to attend that, and that's about it. Thank you.